elements of the stream, so I made the call that it's going to be Teemo hat versus Rammus hat, because Rock, of course, brought out his fantastic Rammus hat to pair with my own. And we are going to get into game number 2. We'll see what bans come down, as Matsuri is calling for Shotgun Sona. I don't know. I think I'd take Shotgun Teemo over Shotgun Sona. Oh, Team okay hat.
Team okay is it's a pretty okay name, I would have to say.
It's moving. That's the one other phrase, which I heard today. Did you, Rock, watch the All League of Legends Champions explained by Rioters?
I'm not sure that I have. It's tickling at my memory, but I can't quite put a video.
It lasts for forever, and it's the two CEOs of Riot Games explaining the champions, and they get to Rammus, and one of them says, so Rammus initially had a standard number of lines that he said like everyone else. However, they all sounded weird. And so because we were pumping out champions so quickly, we only decided to roll with basically the okay and moving as his 2 lines, and we didn't use any of the others because he didn't like them, with the plan to eventually come back and fill in some more lines. But it was such a hit with everyone that we never have, and so he still to this day remains with just those 2 lines, which is pretty fantastic. One of those accidental memes that becomes a big thing.
I always love when that happens in any game in general, but especially something as fluid and adaptive as a game like League of Legends. Having something that's a hit that everyone decides, well, I guess they like it, so we'll just go ahead and keep that. That's always similar.
That's the best part about memes, is when they're completely unintended. Like the current major one running around Twitter with the Tyler One and I think one of the NALCS casters interviewing, or not casters, but one of the NALCS girls interviewing him, and she's like a foot taller than he is, and that meme is all over the place on Twitter right now. Anyway, to this game. Rengar, Akali, Tom Kench banned out by the side of Teemo hat, as Rammus hat bans away the Kassadin, Graves, and Irelia, all strong champions in their own right, especially when it comes to the later stages of the game. We've got Nong Nong grabbing Leona. Now that is curious as to where it's going, especially as we have 2 ADCs picked up. Catinator on the Kai'Sa, Phantom of Tempt on the Ashe as well. If I had to gander a guess, and this is just for me, I'm going to say it's Leona top lane, Ashe support, Kai'Sa AD carry. That's my theory. We'll see as the rest of the picks come up. Nocturne, Victor, Vayne, go ahead.
So far you're sticking with, the summoner spells are exactly where they're going to be. There's going to be no trading.
Except for Leona in the top lane. Well, yeah, I think the summoner spells are the way that they are, but it might get switched up. Again, there is that last second, switch over that could take place. We could see Leona in the jungle. Who really knows?
It's a mystery. I don't know if I've ever actually seen a Leona jungle before. I guess on paper the ganks are really, really good. Not sure about this clear time.
I like the meme that Riot make KDA better than they balance the game. Is that even a meme? I thought that was just fact. I mean, that's just how it kind of is. KDA hit #1 in digital sales and is like the most popular song right now ever on the internet. And compare that to the game, which everyone thinks is the most unbalanced, salty, toxic game ever. I don't know. You can fit those ones together. Top laners banned away by Rammus hat, pinching the pool as we see the Darius and the Jax picked away. Again, I think that's going to be Leona in the top side. I'm pretty sure that Teemo hat's not too concerned about that. They still have mid laners to pick up, and what I personally would love to see is something for more of that wombo combo, like an Orianna, that can pair well with Leona ultimate on multiple people. You get Ashe ult for the engage, Leona ultimate to stun them all up, Orianna ult to pull them all together, but it may be a Yasuo who does a similar thing with his ult as long as he lands that tornado.
Yeah, that can really be make or break on Yasuo. A lot of Yasuos can do a lot of good footwork, they have very good mobility, they know when to poke her to hit, but being able to consistently land the tornado can really separate the good ones from the group. So far, both team compositions are looking fairly balanced here. A lot of good crowd control coming from Teemo hat. Sion and Leona make a very, very nice pair, and Sion does have a knockup that can work with Yasuo as well, so that's very good.
Yeah, I like at least having one tanky frontliner, and Commander C has shown pretty good powers on the Sion before, but now there's going to get some even more confusion as to where everyone's going, and keep in mind, that is a full AD team, unless you're going AP on Leona, which seems fairly doubtful, or a heavy hybrid build on Kai'Sa. All it's going to take is for Braum or the Urgot to build a Thornmail to really make it painful for Teemo Hat as a team as a whole. But with Rammus Hat grabbing that Braum and Urgot, we're going to get down to the last couple of seconds. We got 30 seconds. Give me your thoughts on Rammus Hat's composition.
Rammus Hat's composition, again, I feel like they have what I would call maybe the more standard build. You've got Vayne, who's a great carry, and all she needs really is just somebody to peel off of her. She's got Victor that's able to peel. Urgot is a front line like nobody's business. Braum is probably one of the best peeling supports, or somebody that's best able to actually do some good protection. Nocturne's got the dive. This is really going to be a great composition of let's go ahead and initiate. Let's get our Urgot, let's get Braum going in there and throwing that up, and then let's just put up as many obstacles as possible to let Vayne do her work. It's a very, very good, solid composition.
I love it! All right. We're going to roll through the players and their champions. I'm going to do Team Teemo Hat. You can do Team Rammus Hat because those are our separate teams. But it is Catinator on the Kai'Sa in the jungle. I love it. No funnel comp here. We just got plain old Kai'Sa in the jungle. Catinator's played it once before. Excited to see it again. Nong Nong with the top lane Leona. Phantom of Temp, Ashe 80 carry roll. Heal it up with the Yasuo in the mid lane. And Commander C, 21-21, finishing us off with the Sion support. I'm in love with this composition.
It is an unusual composition in just about every possible way. I'm really curious. I have not seen a solo Leona in a while. She can do some great work. I have seen it on occasion. I usually do see it up in the top lane. She really can hit very hard if she builds for it. That being said, she also has the lockdown that if Kai'Sa's coming in for a gank, you know that Leona can hold that target long enough that Kai'Sa's going to be able to come in. I think that they're going to kind of naturally pair with each other. It's going to be super unusual. I'm not sure how that matchup's going to go. If Leona is able to jump onto Victor and really stick onto him, that is going... Oh, sorry, Urgot, that's going to be good, but I really can't imagine that Urgot particularly cares if she does. It really seems like it's going to be a mismatch, and it seems like that's going to be the potential snowball lane to me.
Yeah, for the side of Team Rammus Hat, we've got Xeno taking the Vayne 80 carry roll. Zusu, it's been forever, but welcome back. Playing the Nocturne in the jungle. Dive with the Victor in the mid lane. No, wait, maybe, yes. Otter with the Urgot in the top, and Dive, first time playing. Welcome with the Braum support in the bottom lane. For a second, they could do a switch around with the Urgot in the mid and Victor in the top. But as Victor is much better as a top laner for blue side, I have a strong feeling it's gonna be Dive in the mid lane, Otter with the Urgot in the top.
That wouldn't surprise me. The teleport does seem to suggest that as well. Right.
Go ahead.
There's one way.
What team do you think is going to win? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, that's perfectly fine. Right now, I would have to say that Red Team has just a bit of advantage just on the sense that, again, they don't have to really do anything particularly crazy to be able to take the advantage. I feel like their lanes are all fairly standard, and while standard isn't necessarily always the best, this team composition works well. It's a very flexible composition. It's very well-rounded. That being said, they are at the disadvantage that they might not know exactly how to play against these things. Especially, again, that Leona, if you mistake what her damage output is, Kai'Sa comes in and manages to gank off of that just because you're not necessarily experiencing it. Blue team can start to leverage that. And once you leverage with a strange composition, things can really start falling apart. Right now, I like Rammus Hat. I think that if Teemo Hat really knows how to play their matchups, and they really know how to exploit these weird little quirks of the matchup, then Teemo Hat could really do some good damage.
Yeah, and really the question for me comes down to Leona, because if she's going full tank route, then she's not going to have as tough a time against Urgot. Even if she gets harassed a little bit, she just kind of absorbs it. She is going to be going more tanky, potentially. However, if she is going to be going for that, AP burst champion in the top lane, which you almost never see, but it's Nong Nong, so he has a chance of doing it. The AP burst could be squishy enough that Urgot has the edge, And unless Leona just goes for a full-on engage with the support of the jungle Kai'Sa, should be able to take over Urgot in the early stages of the game. But if it's the AP Leona, once Urgot hits 6, that lane's going to become a lot more difficult.
It's a very narrow band to walk. If you build AP, that gives you the AP, the magic damage that you need to have your team flexible in the late game. But if you do that, you run a really strong risk of your lane getting shut down. And if your lane gets shut down, it doesn't really matter what you built. You're behind. You don't necessarily have your itemization or levels. You're going to really struggle to be effective.
Completely agree. I'm looking for a screenshot right now, but I did slightly... Let me actually see if I can run it again. There we go. All right, cool. Team Teemo Hat versus Team Rammus Hat. Game 2 of the night. Don't worry, we still got a Game 3 coming underway, and it's going to be an exciting time. Really excited to see how this Leona and Jungle Kai'Sa deal against that Urgot and the... What's that pinging for?
I'll admit that I'm...
Go ahead.
I'll admit I'm actually the teensiest bit disappointed. Obviously, well, at least at the moment, it looks like it's going to be the Ashe Scion, and it really does suggest itself. I would have actually really enjoyed seeing a Scion Yasuo bot lane. Would have been very strange. It would have been very all-in-y, but the combination that they have at that level 6 of him being able to knock up and immediately get ulted to would have been really interesting.
I like it when it's easy for me to move people around. Trade the Urgot and the Vayne. You've already have the full comp for Rammus Hat in their correct positions. Whereas, of course, Teemo Hat's got me moving everyone all over the place. Let me see here. There we go. So, Nom Nom not moving too quickly to the top side. Hey, Aether Rising, welcome. Thank you for joining the pool. Happy to pull you into game number 3 as well. Don't want to miss out on that. And so, with the Scion and Ashe in the bottom lane, Scion, one of those shorter range champions, takes him a little bit of time to set up correctly. And I think that if played correctly, the tumble on Vayne can be really effective pre-6 to basically get out of anything that Scion tries to put on his overall CC, and then can make great use of that mobility when finishing off those passive stacks of those concussive blows to get that extra proc of damage. Post 6 in the bottom lane, I actually feel that Teemo has the edge between the initial engage from the Crystal Arrow from Ashe, as well as just the heavy CC that Scion can bring to the fight. His heal it up. He's getting some pretty good aggression on to dive in the mid lane, dropping him already quite low. It's a Corrupting Potion start, though, for Victor, so he should be able to heal up pretty well.
It's a good amount of action. I agree with you on your thoughts on the bottom lane. Once you hit that 6, there's just so much crowd control coming between Scion and Ashe. They have so much that if they're able to consistently lock down Vayne, they're really going to be able to do some good things in fights.
Oh, look at that. We're already even in the game. It's going to be 30... Sorry, I was trying to make a joke about how early we are in the game, and the goal is just so even. This game is on a knife's edge. That's because we barely started. Sorry, that's called fabricating hype when it's unnecessary. Reeves, welcome back. Always glad to have you towards the later stages of the game if you're interested in playing. If not, no worries. Leona top right, Rar? It's a little bit different. We'll see. Leona is starting, though, with that Doran's shield, so looking to be defensive initially. But again, it's a Doran's item, so there's still plenty of opportunity to build something weird. And we'll keep an eye on that Kai'Sa in the jungle, and where she decides to path to. She's still looking at just clearing out those early 3 major buffs, all single targets.
So far, nothing too untraditional going down. No major lopsided fights. A lot of picking here and there going on in the mid lane. It is a very aggressive lane. Victor is really trying to do a lot of damage to make sure that Yasuo can't jump onto him.
Hey, Glocksu, welcome. Have I seen you before? I think I might have seen you once before, but glad to have you back, throwing out that little high emote. Yeah, the Unicycle Shaco is going to be pretty exciting. I actually won't lie. That one makes me pretty happy, as Victor seems to be hard pushing the Yasuo into his own tower. They're still even in farm, though, so no major advantage. Heal it up, drop to about half. He's going to have the Kai'Sa ganking, though. She's got the double bust with the flash force out because the Ignite's ticking away. That red buff might spell the end of it for Victor. He's going to try to go in, but he's got the Nocturne to support. And that's Zusu picking up first blood as Leona engages the top side. The flash from dive to avoid the tornado from heal up, and he gets the Ignite as he dashes through a minion, sacrificing his own to get one back. It's 2 for 1 so far, but that might be a second one to the side of Teemo Hat. Otter flashing away, but Nong Nong just goes right back in with the Zenith Blade and picked picks up another kill early. Leona kill in that top side, forcing Ragnar to back. We got even more fighting in the bottom side as the exhaust comes down. Condemn won't push Ash to the wall. She's got the auto attacks down. Will be finished off by Braum. Those concussive blow stacks doing just a bit too much. Jai on the run will get knocked up as Commander C gets a little bit more poke, but is walking into a face full of minions. Commander C going to have to back away, but this is tank versus tank. They're just going to slap each other around a little bit. I doubt there's going to be any more kills.
It certainly doesn't seem like there will be. The Scion is doing some good damage. That fight in the mid lane, really determined by Nocturne showing up at the absolute perfect time. Blue team didn't have any vision of it. They weren't able to know he was there. Victor waited to use the W. He could have dropped it down immediately and tried to disengage, but no, he walked into the bushes, baited it, waited until they were already at a point that they couldn't. And as soon as Nocturne came in, they were able to take something away from it.
All right, Leona confusing us a little bit, maybe going an AD Bruiser route, picking up that initial knife as well as that health crystal. Again, sorry guys, my computer seems to be a little bit dealing with some heavy stuff. You occasionally get a spot of lag as Otter goes in. The fear effective on Nong Nong, forcing the flash out of Leona, trying to get back to the turret. The Nocturne wants to chase it in. He's got no spell shield. The Zenith Blade way repositions Leona. I don't think she intended to go quite that far, and so she will be dropped. Could have engaged on just the Nocturne and maybe kept him underneath the turret, forcing him to back away, as it is the Urgot stepped forward into the path of the Zenith Blade, drawing her all the way out and getting one kill back. Nocturne now 2-0.
It's an unfortunate quirk of Zenith Blade. As soon as Nocturne chased under that tower, he was really in a dangerous position. He was taking a lot of tower shots. She turned on him, as she absolutely should have, held him there, but just accidentally made it a little bit too much for her. She ended up way out of position.
We see another fight on the bottom side. Commander C dropped low, but it's back to the mid lane because Yasuo's are always exciting to watch. Those at the wind wall. That's going to stop the killer instinct from the Kaisa. She's going to get some pretty good damage onto Dive. Just kidding, because that's his ally as Catinator goes in. Needs one more auto attack. He's in the brush, though. There's no good vision from Catinator to chase down Dive. Might have the cooldown for another Void Seeker. That's what that ability is called. Tornado from Heal It Up. Not quite going to land, not having the range. Otter wants the damage down. Can he 1v2? He cannot. Even starts the ultimate, but it's a bit too late. Zusu coming in, though, looking for his own fresh 2 kills. We got a full health Leona coming in as well. The spell should going to be knocked away. That might be the stuns. The last auto attack from Nocturne will go down. He ults with a wind wall, trying to stop him in time. Leona should be able to push Zusu off of the turret, or off of the Yasuo. He's going to grab a couple of honeydew fruits. Can the Nocturne get out of this one? I don't think so. Zenith Blade going to reposition Leona. She's got the burst of the Eclipse to pop him off as well. 5 kills to 5. This game is insanity already.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate for Nocturne. That wind wall managed to block, and he was not able to pick up a kill as a result of that. And, you know, if he'd gotten that kill, being able to get maybe even a level from that, that might have been a little bit of a different thing. You're not going to get away from Leona that easily, though. I don't think, regardless, he was going to have. And Leona getting a couple of kills already to start. Very interesting that she's going AD, though. As you noticed before, most of the team is pretty heavily physical. It's going to be really interesting to see what late game is like with so much physical damage coming out from so little magic.
Yeah, we'll have to see, especially on that Urgot. Does he decide to go the tankier route? It's a nice wall, unbreakable from Braum. Going to absorb a lot of that initial damage from the Ashe. He's exhausted, going to be knocked up for a moment. Flashes the Victor stun. He's got his laser down in Sion. Not so fortunate, trying to use the zombie mode to finish off the Braum. He's extremely low, but the Condemn will mean he does not able to get back in, finish off that enemy team support. So only one down, 6th kill to Rammus hat. We'll see if they go for the Drake, but it is a Wind Drake, and no one really dive super early for that Drake, unless it's an Infernal.
That was some great awareness from Xeno there. As soon as they took down the Scion, rotating around to make sure that as soon as his zombie came up to be able to condemn him right
Xeno,
to the wall.
What? No! Phantom of Temp uses the heal underneath the turret, and the Vayne walks away, still alive. That 500 IQ, Xeno using the heal, well-timed with Phantom of Temp as well. That was so cool to watch, barely able to get out alive. We see it. Oh no! Void Seeker from the Kaisa flies in, perfect positioning, narrows down that Vayne and spikes it away for a steal.
Right in the back, and that's such a shame. Sometimes walking away with that kill, feeling triumphant, feeling like you've really gotten some work done, and having something come from out of the shadows, especially from that far away, that really can be humbling. All in all, so far, it's a very close game, 7-6. Very back and forth all around, a lot of fights breaking out nonstop.
Alright guys, I'm going to try to do a little bit of fixing this FPS because every now and then, it's not bad, but the fact that it does glitch a second does kind of annoy me. As Jay coming into the mid lane, you're going to try to look for that 4th concussive blows. Victor's going to be able to get it. The wind wall going to stop the engage, though. The laser is going to be enough. Kaisa comes into the backline. Dive is gone. Nocturne ulting in, wants to finish off the Yasuo. The Braum steals it away. It's actually the Kaisa that goes down. Yasuo is escaping to the backside. Xeno going to drop on the bottom side as well. Fights all over the map as Nong re-engaging onto Otter on the top side. Can he get him underneath the turret once again? Does, but that's the ultimate down. That's that level 6 and on Urgot that we talked about. Able to finish off Leona himself. And the bottom lane turret, the one in the eyes of Teemo Hat. They should be able to finish off its phantom attempt. Is pouring damage into it, but they need to be careful because Braum and Nocturne are on their heels.
This is going to get very nasty. Sign with a great ult to keep Braum from getting onto Ashe. Ashe is going to be able to do some damage, but there's the Braum ult. And as soon as Ashe is locked down, there's very, very little that they can actually do about it. There's only so much protection Sion can bring.
Yeah, Sion may have wanted to save the ultimate for the escape because at this point he's going to be locked up, stunned, and drop. And even his after-death damage is not going to be much to be able to just kind of tickle the Nocturne on his walk out. I like the Braum Q as well for the extra slow. Is heal it up once again. Still full aggression on to dive in the mid lane. Forces out the Victor ultimate. Going to be zapping away. Yasuo is getting a little bit low. I don't think it's going to be enough though, so he's able to walk away for now.
Yeah, so far, if you had to sum up this match in one word, that word would be aggression. We're seeing a lot of fights happening all over the field. So far, some surprisingly even ones. Leona is doing very well against Urgot. I'm curious to see how that's going to go as we get into the mid game. She's only down about 10 CS at the time being, but she is up. That's definitely going fine. Down in the bot lane, we can see that Vayne and Braum are getting a lot of work done, and Vayne is only going to get stronger as the match goes. They really needed to shut her down a little bit more. That being said, they do have a tower down, so they do have a little bit more safety of being on their side of the field.
Nong just going for all of the CC onto Otter in that top lane, but they pretty much are even on build at the moment. You see that Ninja Tabby and Phage for both of those champions on that top side, so it's kind of more just punching each other, not doing that much. Kaisa around the corner, Catinator ready to try to gank on to dive in the mid lane, throws out the Void Seeker, won't land. The Rockets will though. Drops dive to about half. Leona trying to gank with the ultimate as well. Drive's got the fancy feet, but not fancy enough. Need those tap dancing shoes to get out of a situation like that and heal it up. Picks up his 4th kill of the game as Nocturne wants to gank. Will the wind wall be in correct position this time around? Heal it up, gets the knock up, uses the Laphith as well. Kaisa returns! Oh, that is a beautiful ultimate as Otter is going to teleport into the mid lane, but he's in the midst of 3 people, and Leona's got plenty of CC. Double kill for Catinator on the Kaisa in the jungle. 3-3 and 4 the scoreline as he's going to be found by Xeno. Condemns the Kaisa straight into a wall. Leona's Zenith play is just going to miss, and that should spell the end of the fight. 11 kills to 11, but a 2,000 gold lead for Teemo Hat so far.
Great mobility from Yasuo on that play. Victor dropped down his W. He dropped down that gravity field. Unfortunately, Yasuo was able to dance around it, and while he was dancing around it, he was able to stay in such a way that Victor wasn't really able to disengage from the fight effectively. Locking Victor into that position really set up everything. There is a fight breaking down into that river. Kaisa going on to Victor. Braum is going to try and save, but it's not quite enough. Vayne following up behind Ashe, and she is just able to get shot after shot. Sion and Yasuo are trying to catch up, and Vayne is really stuck into an all-in now. She's going to have to seek to try and escape here, and Yasuo is set to catch and keep her there. Now it's going to be a big turnaround. Yasuo and Sion doing great work together. A nice amount of damage and crowd control.
Yeah, I love those two. The spell shield from Nocturne not going to be needed. He is able to get back underneath the turret, but that's still stacking more kills on the side of Teemo Hat. Nong wanting to engage on the top side. It's really about the wave clear though, and Urgot has about a 10 minion lead on that Leona. She's going to back once again. So laning phase at the moment, slightly going in the favor of Teemo Hat, but once the laning phase is over, how do you see these 5v5 fights working out, especially as people start to move a little bit more towards that Rift Herald or potentially even Baron objectives?
5v5 fights are going to come down to a couple of things. While bot lane for Teemo Hat isn't doing quite as well as bot lane for Rammus Hat, they do have some very, very nice initiation. The Ashe arrow is great. Leona's ult is great. Yasuo's ult is great. We've got Sion up in the top lane. Urgot having to walk away from Yasuo. And there is a Leona ult as well. They're making a play at this. Leona can't go too far into it. She's got to be careful. Urgot has missed the ultimate, and that is just about all he can do. They're able to successfully go in and out, double team him, and they have managed to take him down there.
Fantastic trading underneath the turret. You saw Leona step in, step out. Yasuo step in, step out, throw the tornado to go back in. And Leona follows afterwards just to make sure he gets out. Beautiful coordination between those two up there. Picks up a kill onto that Urgot. Again, continuing stack up for Teemo Hat. I gotta say that when you look at how much AD Teemo Hat has, you'd almost think that Rammus Hat would want to pick up Rammus. But in the meantime, Catinator versus Xeno. Xeno finds the condemn. The ultimate not going to be enough. Ash ult just a hair short. You're talking a second earlier, and that would have been a kill for Kaisa. But she goes down. The tumble from Vayne going to be able to get her out as well. Sion wanting to look for the engage. There's a Braum and a Victor that Sion can jump in on. It's the Braum, the only one that he hits for now. Going to be able to jump to the Victor, try to escape for the moment. The Unbreakable not going to be enough. Will break with his own life, heal it up, picking up an 8th kill of the game, and really starting to be a heavy carry for Teemo Hat.
This is the thing about Teemo Hat. While both teams have some good crowd control, for the most part, the crowd control on blue team can be offensive. Leona's ult, very offensive. Zenith Blade, very offensive. Ash Arrow, Sion's ult, all of these are great. Whereas red team has the knock. There is a fight going on in mid lane. Looks like we're seeing some healthy disengage. While they do have Nocturne's ult, as far as actual crowd control goes, a lot of it is very defensive. It's very disengage based, which makes it very hard for them to dictate fight.
Yeah, and once again, they were kind of really heavily all-in champions. There's not a lot of opportunity to escape. Leona, one of those champions, it's all-in as well. But when you think about Teemo Hat, they're basically 100% all-in, except for Ashe, who gets to choose when to engage. I suppose Kaisa is as well. Choosing when to go in makes it a little bit easier to decide those engages that you know you're going to win. As the Sion knockup going to be on Urgot, Otter maybe going down. He's forced to flash away for the moment. The Unbreakable from Braum, keeping his teammate alive. Sion's going to drop. Beautiful burst from the Victor, as well as with that the Vayne as well. Nocturne to the back line. We'll see if he can escape. A nice knockup from Yasuo. Holds him all in place. Leona ultimate. Gonna be on to 3 members. Dive trying to get out. He's got the shield. He's alive. Phantom of Tempo on the run. And Rammus Hat is winning the fight. Zeno goes in. Gets another kill. Jai is going to support from the backside. Doing what he can to make sure everyone stays alive. And it will be Vayne falling before Catinator gets back underneath the turret. And it's shut down by a laser. The ace for Rammus Hat. We'll see if they move for any objectives. It looks like the mid lane turret's their focus.
This is just what you were talking about, you know? Blue team is very, very all-in heavy, but since red team can play so defensively, blue team jumped in on him. Teemo Hat tried to go in, but they went in at a choke. And since they're going in at a choke, there's only so much they can do. Red team was able to successfully defend against it. They got Braum in front. They got Vayne behind. As soon as blue team started trying to pull back to regroup, Nocturne jumped in on him, scrambled everybody. While that's happening, Braum can come forward. Vayne can come forward. And then as soon as that happens and they start getting disorganized, it's just pick them off one by one. They don't have disengaged. Blue team only has engaged. As soon as they're on the back foot, they have very few options to regain the fight.
And really, that Nocturne ult looked like one of those, oh, you're just inting into the enemy team, but exactly as you said, it had to force the entirety of Teemo Hat to refocus. Sure, Nocturne didn't get anyone kills, but everyone stopped looking wherever they were looking and forced to look at Nocturne, which meant those battle lines could be repositioned for Rammus Hat. They set themselves back up. And again, that Braum early game, fairly squishy, not going to be able to do that much with the Unbreakable, but now he's got a Randuin's Omen into a full AD team. This guy is now coming online as a major tank for the team, and Leona down to half health through a little bit of skirmishing on that top side. They were looking for the Rift Herald, weren't able to get it. Yasuo is able to pick up that mid lane first tier turret though.
Braum is going to be very, very scary for anybody on blue team to deal with. There's no easy answer to him, and that's not good because Braum's able to jump to anybody that he really needs to support him. No matter who they try and go on in the fight, sooner or later they are going to have to do.
Alright, we'll see with the rest of Teemo Hat. If they want to engage, they got all 5 members here, as well as that Rift Herald. So the ultimate from the Sion knocks up 2. This is a big fight as the Wombo combo from the Yasuo going to knock up as well. Victor is gone. Nocturne to the back line. Tries to take out Ashe. He flashes. Zeus who follows, but he's going to fall. Jai to the back line as well. He's going to drop. Commander C still alive against the shield. That's a wipe. That's an ace for Teemo Hat. They're going to get the second tier turret. They've got Shelly as well, and all 5 members alive. Inhibitor down at the least for this team.
Beautiful counter race, beautiful synergy. As soon as Victor dropped down that W, that's no trouble for Sion. He can jump right through it, and jumping through it, he knows there's not going to be any crowd control when he arrives. Catches 2 people. Yasuo immediately on top of him as well. Braum throwing in the ult to keep everyone disrupted. As soon as it's down 3 to 5, they can really just do serious. And red team is still off balance. They've still got a 5. They've still got the Rift. They are going. Red team's trying to counter here, but both of their turrets are down.
They're just gonna go right back into the fight. Otter comes out of the base. He's able to pick up one with the ultimate, but Heal It Up is still dashing through the entirety of the enemy team. Commander C forced underneath the turret, but he's got the zombie mode to help finish off Otter, who's just ulted by the Ashe. This may still spell the end of the game as Katnir holds off Brahma at the fountain, and in one fell swoop, Teemo takes game number 2.
That was an astounding push from Blue Team. As soon as Red Team ended up on the back foot, Blue Team was able to just continuously, as soon as they saw someone, everyone can throw themselves on one person, take them out. They never had a chance to get back onto even footing. They were always down a couple of players for those final pushes.
Holy crap, I haven't seen an end of a game like that in a very, very long time. Huge thank you to all the players in this game who made that amazing to shoutcast. And oh my gosh, that was just insanity. All right, we got to talk about MVPs and honorable mentions. I'll do one team, you do the other. For the side of, I'm going to do my namesake, Teemo Hat, because we did win. So obviously Teemo Hat's more powerful this time around. But next time we have you on, you got to wear the Rammus hat. And we're going to have a rematch between Teemo Hat and Rammus Hat. Give it to us though, Rock, for Rammus Hat, honorable mention, and an MVP.
Oh, let's think about this. Honorable mention for Rammus Hat, I think probably has to go to. Braum played a phenomenal game. He was always just about exactly where he should be, put up great defense, was able to really stick onto people and defend as well as possible, try and keep Vayne alive, try and keep Victor alive. And just all in all, I mean, even look at his build. He's got the Tabi, he's got Randuin's Omen. Those are the 2 items you want to start with against this kind of composition. It's fantastic. Vayne as well, doing a really great job, followed up everything Braum did, really tried to be in a good position to take down those single targets, really tried to be doing what she should have been in team fights. Ultimately, this was Vayne's game, and unfortunately, it's just very difficult to play a Vayne against a dive comp. She did very well. She managed to get a couple of really great picks, started snowballing the lane, but ending up on that back foot, there was very little she could do despite tremendously great play.
Fantastic. As I always do, even with Wraith, if you watch the stream at all, especially if you're regular, you know that I do this, and I'm pretty terrible with it. I heard what you were saying in my mind, but I was talking to people in chat. So one more time, very quickly, you don't have to go through all the explanation. Just Vayne and...
honorable mention, Braum, MVP Vayne.
Perfect. The reason why I do this, and I'm going to make it a lot easier, guys, is because I do actually record all the people who got honorable mentions and MVPs, and I have a growing list of who has the most honorable mentions and MVPs and everyone on it. Eventually, it will be a command that you can use to actually see who the top 3 honorable mentions and MVP players are. So that way, if you are regular who play a lot, you could actually grow to be the highest MVP or honorable mention of the stream. That's why I was asking again. Let me go through for the winning team. I mean, you look at this lineup and everyone did something pretty insane, especially Leona, Bruiser, Trinity Force top lane. I mean, this is not what you normally think. Kaisa jungle, 9, 6, and 9. So many ganks in the mid lane. Just crazy. But honorable mention is going to go over to Catenator for playing not only a completely off-meta champion in the jungle, but doing well. And one of those things about being an off-meta champion is that you would think in the jungle, you got to play safe. This is not normally your typical role. Let me farm up to get more comfortable. He was ganking top lane at level 4. He was ganking mid lane before having the ultimate and continued to keep up that pressure. And honestly, early game, Yasuo was starting to struggle heavily. Catenator's continuous ganking in that mid lane allowed Heal It Up to start to come back, both a little bit in farm, as well as when he started to pick up kills as well. So, which is going to be the MVP, Heal It Up, playing a beautiful Yasuo in the mid lane, and especially that end of the game fight by the 2nd tier turret in the top lane. Commander C dives in with Cyan, getting 2-man knockup. Yasuo completely unafraid of going underneath that turret. Last breaths into those 2, and then continues to cause disruption for the back line, making sure that Dive has a really hard time getting into the fight. Xeno has to play safe, and when Zuzu overextends into that back fight and immediately dies, which first of all was a miracle the Phantom of the Temp lived, but when Phantom of Temp didn't die, that spelled the end of the game. And for Teemo Hat to just aggressively push in for a fantastic finish, love it. Absolutely love it. All right, Don't go anywhere, guys. We are going to be right back with a game number 3. And, Coach, this is NA. If you have an NA account, feel free to jump onto it, and we'll happily have you for game number 3. Sleepy Peach, I'm going to make sure that I have your in-game name so I can invite you for game 3. So we're going to take a very quick break, so if you need water or something, grab a quick snack. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Game 3, around the corner. How's that for a better finish? Oh, of course I don't have Spotify up, so I don't have any music. Beautiful, beautiful job. This is obviously NALCS casting quality right here. There we go. I want to play. Oh, you got it already. All right. Uncle 420 Tyrone. I like it. Fantastic.